was a kid in class that never talked, always sitting by himself staring ahead. One day, the kid next to him is trying to be friendly, and he noticed he's got a headphone in underneath his hat. Hey man, what you listening to? Maybe it was music, maybe it was a podcast, he doesn't know. Kid slowly pulls out one earbud and hands it over. Okay, that's weird, but the kid takes it, puts it in his own ear. Oh, you want me to listen? Okay. At first, he thinks it's broken. Then he hears it. 481, 482. What is it's just some guy's voice counting. Kid then pulls out his phone and shows him. The video on his phone said, British guy counting to 5,000. Oh, nice, man. Why do you listen to this stuff? And all the kid said to him was, it's none of your freaking business, bro. 496. That is so weird. No chewing gum in my class. Ah, rats. Marcus gets caught chewing gum by one of the super strict teachers. Marcus, spit it out. Now, most people would just take their gum and walk it to the trash can. But not Marcus. He's too cool for that. So he takes the gum out, he stands up slowly, he looks at the garbage can across the room. Watch this. Whole class locks in, trying to see if he's gonna make the shot. He launches it. Perfect arc. It's going. At the very last second, the gum curves and gets stuck in the quiet kid's hair. Everybody's horrified. They're waiting for this quiet kid to freak out. But the kid never talks and he barely even reacts to this. He slowly reaches up. He touches the gum. It's not coming out easy. It's stuck in there pretty good. Then he calmly opens his backpack and pulls out a pair of scissors. And without saying a single word, he just cuts that chunk of gum right out of his hair. He sets the gum on his desk, puts the scissors back in his backpack, zips it up, and then he puts the hairy wad of gum in his mouth and starts chewing it. Goes right back to taking notes. The strict teacher's like, you know what? He can chew it. I'm not dealing with that. Yeah, have kids. It's pretty weird. I hate braces. Mikey got braces right before freshman year, and he really didn't want anybody to notice. So the whole summer, this dude's in the mirror practicing, smiling with his lips closed, talking differently. Hi, my name's Mikey. How are you? Laughing without showing teeth. Fully rehearsing these facial expressions. First day of school, he thinks he's got it under control. Then English class happens. Also, Mikey's mouth was messed up. He had those rubber bands in different places. Well, the teacher asks a question, calls on Mikey. So Mikey, what do you think they did with all the cows? And Mikey responds something that made himself laugh. They made milk. He smiles big, his braces are showing, but one of those rubber bands that he has connected to his braces comes loose and just straight to the front of the room. Right into the teacher's eye. What was that? Oh no! It came out of Mikey's mouth. It was so unfortunate. Mikey was in the front row. Truly a freak accident, but Mikey was bullied for like a month. Poor guy. Who knows what tabletopping is? When I was in school, tabletopping was this kind of dangerous thing where you would get on your hands and knees behind somebody and your friend would push them down over you. Okay, I'm not recommending it, but this one school got a brand new teacher fresh out of college. It was literally his first week there, but he looked like a 16-year-old. What's up, I'm Mr. Johnson. So one day during passing period, he's walking through the hallways carrying his bag. And on this particular day, this group of kids were going around tabletopping people. So they figured, hey, that's a student, let's tabletop him. Yo, next victim. Perfect. So these goofballs decide to go for it. One of them gets in front of him and says, hey, what's up, bro? Oh, hey. While the other gets behind him on all fours, and he pushes. He falls down, and he breaks his arm, and that's when the students can see his staff badge. Bro, that's a teacher. What? I could have sworn it was a freshman. Teacher is screaming, his arm is broken half. Office gets called. These kids literally get suspended. They were almost expelled. But that poor teacher, he was actually bullied for that entire year. That's just not right. This kid ran a business at school and became rich. Okay, not in real money, but school money. Listen up. My followers sent me the story about a kid at his school. This kid went to church, and at that church, there were bowls of candy and bubblegum that were free to the patrons. What he would do is he would take handfuls and handfuls of the gum and bring them to school. And at his school, gum was like gold. People were always trading it and buying it off of each other. But this school had a currency system, like school bucks. If you did well in class or you were well behaved, you would get these school bucks that allowed you to buy a bunch bunch of different things, like passes to come late to class, passes to get in the front of the lunch line. You can buy school supplies, a new locker if you wanted, all with these school bucks. And that's what he charged for the gum he was selling. Business was absolutely booming. In total, this kid made around 3,000 school bucks. Needless to say, he got a bigger locker, he was always first in the lunch line, and he was occasionally late to class with no repercussions. Creepiest things a friend has ever done. This lady lives with her husband, and they used to let their friend stay with them all the time, sometimes for months. This friend lived out of the country. Whenever he visited, he was usually there for a long time. Well, one morning, this lady woke up and saw her friend staring at her, inches from her face. Oh my God, what are you doing? Why are you watching me? I'm really sorry. I don't know why I was doing it. You were staring at me, I was sleeping. What the frick? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I know how creepy this must look. I'm so sorry. Have you done this before? Have you done this before? Every night. Whenever I stay here, I watch you sleep every single night. I don't know why. I like it. It makes me feel safe. Get out of my house right now. I never want to see you again. Okay, I'll go. Jeff, wake up. What the heck? What happened? What happened? I was almost mugged, but this is how I got out of it. I was walking home to my apartment on a cold, snowy Chicago evening, and I decided to take a shortcut. As I was walking through the alleys, I heard someone behind me yell, "Hey man, come here." And because it was late and I was skeptical, I just kept on walking, but he started following me. It was definitely a little sus. This is the point where I started straight up running to my apartment. I'm running and this guy's chasing me. I finally see the back of my apartment when I slip and fall on a big sheet of ice. At this point, the guy was catching up to me and I was like, all right, he's gonna get me, oh well. And I just started crying, screaming, flailing around. And what I didn't know at the time is that when I fell on the ice, my pants fell down too. And this guy gets to me, and I'm preparing for the worst. But I guess my pantsless screaming self made him feel very uncomfortable because all he said was, oh hell no, and he ran away. And that's how I avoided being mugged. This is proof that being smart will make you money. One of my followers sent me the story of a business this girl in her school ran. She was in 7th grade and she was very smart. So she started a simple business. She would do anybody's homework for $10 each. Business was absolutely booming and everyone was paying her to do their homework. Yes, it was a lot of homework she had to do, and yes, she had to stay up all night most nights to get it done. But in 3 weeks, she made over $1,000. But at the end of those 3 weeks, she was caught and suspended for 3 days. $1,000 and a 3-day vacation from school sounds like a win to me. This kid ran a crazy business at his school and he made bank. My followers sent me the story of a business that he ran. In his locker, which was usually always empty, he brought a bunch of ingredients and ice every day to make mocktails. And if you don't know what that is, it's a cocktail without the alcohol in it. And he started advertising his bar to students around the school. They would come up to him before lunch and he would make them a drink, like a Shirley Temple, a pina colada, a mojito, basically whatever they wanted. And business was absolutely booming. This kid was straight up bartending in the hallway every day before lunch. And he was making bank. Nobody ever snitched on him and business fizzled out, but in total, he made about $1,500. That's insane. Teachers who definitely shouldn't be teaching. This girl was sitting in class one day and she had kind of a cough. So every once in a while, she would cough to herself during the lesson. The teacher did not like that, and this is what happened. Okay, if you can't hear me because Caitlin keeps coughing, throw a book at Caitlin's head. Johnny, why would you do that? To the office right now. Caitlin, you too. I didn't do anything. To the office now. F you. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. This kid is about to be in 8th grade, and last year he started this business. He had a locker that he'd never used. I think we all know where I'm going with this. Anyway, he wanted to make some money, so he was brainstorming with his mom, and his mom's like, well, we can go to Costco and buy a bunch of stuff for you to sell, so they did. He went to Costco and bought tons of candy, chips, and soda in bulk. He would then bring these items to school and set them up convenience store style in his locker. He sold these items as a package deal, $5 for chips, a soda, and a handful of candy. Business was absolutely booming. And the best part is, even the teachers got in on this. When school ended for the summer, he was making around $100 a week. And he plans to start this new school year even stronger. Keep it up, my friend. You gotta respect the hustle. The craziest things people found in their homes. Lightning came through the ceiling vent and struck this guy's toilet in his house. Imagine if he was taking a dump. While doing electrical work in their super old house, they found this prison cell under the basement stairs. That's a little sus. A dude found this stuff after clearing out his blocked up chimney. And I just want to know, what the frick is that? This statue was found in an abandoned house. And honestly, I don't even know what I'd do if I saw that. A man returned home from work to find this note slipped under his back door. Needless to say, this dude was freaked out. And last but not least, a man and his wife were viewing houses to potentially buy, and they found this in the attic, a drawing that says "By Peter." And in the basement, they saw this, what looks to be scratches and fingerprints all over the wall. The most brilliant ways people got rich. In 2005, Alex, too, was a student in England, and he was trying to save up money for university. Well, he had an absolutely brilliant idea. He created a website with a blank homepage that consisted of 1 million pixels. The pixels were arranged in a 1000 by 1000 pixel grid. He then advertised his websites to businesses and said for $1 you can put your ad on one of these pixels. Like I said, $1 for 1 pixel to advertise your business, and there's 1 million pixels on his website. He sold out. 5 months after he launched the website, he had made $1,037,100. Absolutely brilliant. The worst things teachers said to students. This first grader was in class one day, and he was kind of talking during the lesson. The teacher didn't like it, and this is what happened. "George, how many times do I have to ask you to shut your mouth?" "I'm really sorry, I'll stop." "You know, it's funny, your parents actually called me a few minutes ago. They said that they don't want you anymore. From now on, you have to live here at the school with me." "They didn't say that, you're lying." "Stop crying and get in the closet and sit down." "Please, please, no, no, please." "Your parents don't love you." She then forced and locked him in the closet for more than 20 minutes before finally telling him that she was just teaching him a lesson, and next time to be quiet in class. This man won an insect eating contest, but what happened afterwards is heartbreaking. This is Edward Archbold from Deerfield Beach, Florida, and in 2012 he was competing in an insect eating contest where the champion wins a live snake. Well, this guy really wanted to win. Here he is, gobbling down tons and tons of roaches and worms, and he won. Go Edward! But little did he know that he would not be able to bask in that glory. After the contest, as he was waiting outside the pet store for his snake, he started gagging and heaving violently. 911 was called and he was taken to the hospital, where he passed away. People initially thought that he had a severe allergic reaction to the insects, but after the autopsy was done, it was determined that all the bugs he had eaten had gotten lodged in his windpipe, blocking off his oxygen. Rest in peace, Edward. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one kid went to a very strict boarding school where everything was pretty much banned. This led to pretty much every single student running their own black market. The person that shared this story sold soda. If anybody wanted any kind of soda, they would go to him. Some other business examples at this school include this one kid who would get you any CD of any band you wanted. Another kid sold chips of all kinds. There was a guy that just sold gum. People sold drugs, dirty magazines, candy, and books. Whatever you wanted, there was a student that had that for you. And apparently all these kids were making bank. Every so often somebody would get shut down, but these kids pretty much ran the school, so nothing too serious ever happened. The worst teachers ever. When this person was in 6th grade, she was sitting in class and her teacher was teaching. She was paying attention, but her mind was wandering. She then remembered something funny her friend said to her the day before, so she smiled and kind of laughed to herself. This is what happened. Excuse me, is there something funny about this? I'm really sorry. Shut your mouth and pay attention. Black markets kids ran in their schools. And take notes, because this is a great business idea. The cafeteria inside this school sold peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for $4 each, which is absurd in my opinion. Well, one girl had a very good idea. She bought loaves of bread, peanut butter, and jelly, and she kept them in her locker. She then spread the word around school. If anybody wanted the PB&J, come to her, not the cafeteria. Whenever someone placed an order, they would go to her locker, she would make the sandwich and give it to them for $1 a sandwich. Business was absolutely booming, and kids respected her for it too. Well, the school found out about this and shut it down. The principal said the reason she can't do this anymore is because the cafeteria is someone's job and livelihood, and by her selling sandwiches from her locker, she's taking away money from the lunch ladies, which makes no sense to me at all. Weirdest things you can buy on Amazon right now. These meat shredder claws. They'll have you looking just like Wolverine. Honestly, these look incredibly convenient. These little finger hats that protect your fingers from getting Cheeto dust on them. I would never order it because I like to lick my fingers. I know a lot of you guys have chickens. Well, you can buy this chicken harness so you can take your chicken for a nice long walk around the neighborhood. This ostrich head pillow, so no matter where you lay your head down, you'll always be comfortable. And last but not least, these bacon bandages. I'm definitely getting myself some of these. If you want to see me open a bunch of weird, random Amazon packages, check out my newest video, Pointless Things Kids Did in School. So this kid's in 7th grade, and his school lunchroom has a bunch of these pre-packaged silverware. So every day, this kid grabs a handful of these silverware packets, puts them in his backpack, and goes home. Well, he's been collecting these for a while now, and he has a bunch of them. He hasn't really done anything with them yet, but they're stored in these garbage bags here. These are the pictures he sent me. You know, I'm not quite sure why I'm sharing this story with you, but you gotta admit, that's a lot of silverware. You kids are crazy, man. Weird things teachers said to students. When this kid was in 2nd grade, him and his family moved to a new school in South Carolina. They came from up north, and this kid was not used to the southern accents and sometimes had a hard time understanding it. Well, one day, his 2nd grade teacher asked him to lead the class outside for recess, and this is what happened. Will you take the class down yonder hill for me, William? Down yonder hill? Yes, Will, please lead the class down yonder hill. Well, William had no idea what the heck down yonder hill meant. He thought it was an actual place, so he just stood there and did nothing. William, down yonder hill. Down yonder hill. William, take the class down yonder hill, please. Dumb kid. What are you, stupid boy? Get to the back of the line. My, your mama raised a dumb boy. Come on, class, follow me. I hate it here. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this kid was in high school, one day he lost his iPod in the library. And the librarian that worked there every day was this very old but very sweet lady. So he asks her if anyone turned in a black iPod. She opens up a drawer, and there was his black iPod. But there were also tons and tons of other iPods in there as well. So he took his iPod, went home, and then he had an idea. The next day, he asked her if anyone turned in a green iPod. She opened the drawer and gave him a green iPod. He repeated this process twice a week for the entire school year. And like I said, this lady was very old, so I guess she just didn't remember him. He would then sell the iPods he took to other students, at flea markets, or on Craigslist and eBay. He was making hundreds and hundreds of dollars. After a while, he got nervous that the sweet old lady he was taking advantage of would catch on. So what he would do was he would have other students that he was close with go to her and ask her for the iPods. But this never failed. In total, he made over $1,500. Times people made complete fools of themselves. This guy was checking tickets for an event. This lady tries to walk past him, and this is what happens. Excuse me, ma'am, do you have a ticket? No, I don't. Well, then you gotta go home because the event is sold out. Are you sure that... Ma'am, don't make me force you out of here. All I'm saying is that if I leave, so does every single person inside, because they all paid to hear me speak today. Of course, yes, ma'am, I am so sorry. Of course, yes, please go in. That's what I thought. Yes, ma'am. Teachers who really shouldn't be teaching. At one elementary school, there was a teacher that was super hard on the students, especially when the class was reading as a group and somebody would read too slowly. Here's one example of how she would act. Abraham Lincoln was watching... Come on, Kyle, pick it up, please. Pick it up. Abraham Lincoln was watching a play when... Abraham Lincoln was watching a play when what? Come on, Kyle, hurry up. Abraham Lincoln was... Faster. Abraham Lincoln was watching a play when... Kyle, stop, that's it. I am so disappointed in you. What is wrong with you? Everyone give Kyle the thumbs down. He did so bad reading. George, please finish what Kyle couldn't. Thank you.
Abraham Lincoln was watching a play when John Wilkes Booth shot him in the head.
Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this girl was in 1st grade, she had a bunch of old Barbies that she never played with, and she wanted to make some money. So she got an idea. She cut off all the hair on all of her Barbies and put them in separate Ziploc bags. She would then bring these bags of hair to school and tell all the kids at her school that the bags of hair were from celebrities, like Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, and these kids believed her. She charged $1.50 per bag, and the most popular bag was Justin Bieber's hair. In total, she made $50, but the parents of students were complaining to the school, asking, why are my kids coming home hungry? Turns out, the way these kids paid for the hair was by giving her their snack money. The principal then found out about this and she was shut down. What an evil genius. Pieces of Einstein's brain might be scattered across the country. In 1955, the morning Einstein passed away, his doctor decided to remove Einstein's brain for future study. This was common back then. People wanted to study the brains of geniuses to see why they were so smart. Well, Dr. Harvey took Einstein's brain home, cut it up into 240 pieces, and stored them in mason jars. Shortly after this, Einstein's son found out about the brain theft and was super mad, but Dr. Harvey somehow convinced him to let him keep it. Dr. Harvey soon lost his job and he ruined his marriage. He then moved to the Midwest. He kept Einstein's brain for the next several decades, trying to unlock the secrets of Einstein's intelligence. Eventually, the brain was retrieved. However, throughout the years, Dr. Harvey had given away pieces of Einstein's brain to his curious friends and even some random people. And those pieces have still yet to be found. That's crazy. Crazy things teachers did. This teacher said he has a thing he does whenever he loses control of his class. He grabs a stapler and says, "Anyone want to put a staple in my hand?" The physical pain would be nothing compared to how I feel right now, when all I want to do is help you guys reach your full potential, but you don't care. Somebody then usually doubts his seriousness and says, "Yeah, I'll put a staple in your hand." That's when he walks up to their desk, puts the stapler down, and puts his hand down and says, "Do it." The students usually give a nervous giggle and they pretend to do it, but they never do. Well, one day he did this little stunt again, and a student was like, "Yes, mister, I'll put a staple in your hand." He brings a stapler over, puts his hand down, and the student actually staples his hand. He didn't freak out or anything. He calmly looked at his hand, asked, "Did that really happen?" Pulled the staple out while blood trickled down, and he said, "Are we done? Can I go back to teaching now?" All the students were completely shocked. The kid that did it felt so bad that he stapled his own hand at the end of class. Craziest things that happened at school. This woman was a teacher in a very rough neighborhood, and one day, immediately after school, she got a phone call from the principal telling her to not leave her classroom. Apparently, a student of hers, earlier that day, was bragging to another student about how he was going to kidnap his teacher. The person he bragged to told the principal what was going on. That's when the principal called the teacher, telling her to stay in the classroom, and then they searched the parking lot. They found this kid in his van with zip ties and a knife, waiting for her to leave the school. He was then arrested. That's terrifying. Times students made their teachers cry. This 10th grade math teacher was very easygoing, and students would take advantage of her all the time. Well, one day in class, this one kid decided to mess with her. She had a banana sitting on her desk. He went up, grabbed the banana, and started making vulgar gestures and doing nasty things with the banana. At the end of his little prank, he destroyed the banana and threw it away. The entire class was laughing, but she was just sad. "Are you done? I just want you to know that you ruined my only lunch for the day, and you hurt my feelings pretty bad. So, thank you for that." The rest of the class immediately stopped laughing and felt very guilty. The kid that did this was expelled later that year for different reasons. But on the last day before summer break, he visited the school. He went into that teacher's room and he said this, "Excuse me, miss, what are you doing here?" And I just wanted to say sorry, and I got you this. He brought her a banana. Times students made their teachers cry. This 7th grade teacher had kind of big teeth, and the students would always make fun of her behind her back for it. Well, one day in class, everyone was passing around notes, making jokes about her and her teeth, calling her the horse teeth teacher. Well, she noticed the notes being passed around, and this is what happened. Excuse me, no passing notes in class. Let me see it." Okay, thank you. Now let's see what's so important. This is absolutely unacceptable. Making fun of me and my teeth. Do you think this makes me feel good? Do you think I don't know my teeth are a little different? I'm done. You guys can teach yourselves the rest of the class. I'm done. Robin Williams almost played the Joker. As they were casting for Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film, Warner Brothers really wanted Jack Nicholson to play the Joker. However, at first he said no. The studio then asked Robin Williams, and it was always his dream to act in a superhero movie. He said yes, and he was super hyped to play the Joker. Turns out, Warner Brothers only asked Robin Williams so they could tell Jack Nicholson that Robin Williams took it. When Jack found out, he's like, "Actually, never mind, I want to play the Joker." And they took it away from Robin and gave it to Jack Nicholson. Robin Williams was super mad. He said Warner Brothers had to give him an apology before he ever worked with them again. They apologized. Well, fast forward a few years, and Warner Brothers was casting for Batman Forever, the 1995 film. They offered Robin Williams the role of the Riddler, and again he was super hyped, but the same exact thing happened. That role was taken away from him and given to Jim Carrey. They did Robin Williams hella dirty. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this kid was in 7th grade, him and his friend wanted to start start a candy business. So one day after school, they went to a super small candy store and bought tons of candy. They took that candy to school the next day and sold it for a profit. First day, they made $50. They kept doing this, and after the first week, they made $120. Business was booming. However, other students started to notice their success, and that's when other candy businesses started to pop up around the school. Everybody was in competition with everybody. These companies would literally fight over customers. However, our dudes remained at the top, but they were losing dominance. After about 4 months, they got beat up by some older kids who were also running their own business. Those guys stole all their product. That's when the teachers realized how big of an operation this was, and the school ended up expelling some random student. That's when our dudes decided to quit. In total, they made $930. But they said the story of the candy wars has lived on. Nobody ever forgot what took place during those 4 months. The worst things teachers said to students. When this kid was in 2nd grade, he was sitting in his class one day kind of crying because his cat just died. His teacher noticed this. She came over to try to make him feel better. And this is what happened.
My cat died last night.
Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry about that. I'm sure you miss him a lot.
I really do. But I'll see him in heaven one day, right?
Oh, sweetie, no. God never said anything about cats having souls. He's in hell, and you'll never see him again. I'm sorry. The worst things teachers made students do. When this kid was in 1st grade, his mom put a slice of cheese in his lunchbox. But by the time lunch rolled around, the cheese was kind of soggy. So he threw it away. But a teacher saw this, and this is what happened. What did he just throw away? A perfectly good slice of cheese. Patrick, come here. Yeah? Why did you throw this perfectly good piece of cheese away? Because it's not good anymore. It's really soggy. I don't want to eat it. You can't go outside until you eat this. You're gonna eat this piece of cheese or you're spending recess with me in my room.
Please don't make me eat it. Please don't make me eat it.
Don't test me. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this dude was in 4th grade, his mom would pack him a lunch every single day, but she wouldn't put any sweets or sugary stuff in there. And this kid loved sweets, so he had a brilliant idea. For some reason, all the kids at his school were obsessed with mechanical pencils, so he had his mom buy him a bunch of really cool mechanical pencils. He would then raffle those pencils off to students at his school. But the way people would enter the raffle is that whenever he got a good snack, he would give them a ticket, and business was booming. Every day, people were giving him their Twinkies, Ho-Hos, Sour Patch Kids, all types of stuff, in exchange for a raffle ticket. This lasted about 3 months until he ran out of mechanical pencils. But this kid was getting about 7 treats a day. His mom didn't pack him snacks, so he found his own way. My man. The worst things teachers said to students. When this kid was 9 years old, he was in school when his teacher asked the class what they wanted to be when they grew up. And this is what happened. Alrighty, class, so what do you want to be when you grow up? Yes, David. When I grow up, I want to be a garbage man. Really? Well, nobody in here should ever aspire to be a garbage man. Do you want to know why? Because those types of jobs are for the most unintelligent people in our society. You should try to do better. Trash people get trash jobs. Now, David, why would you want to be a garbage man?
Because my dad's a garbage man.
Super sus design fails. This is supposed to be Emma Watson in the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie. To me, she looks more like Justin Bieber. This is a Mickey Mouse costume? That's terrifying. The way they packaged this Elmo toy makes it look like Elmo's trying to take this kid out. This is a Patrick Star PlayStation controller, and this is the bottom of it. Look at all that cake. This Minions shampoo bottle, but the way it's leaking makes it look like he's crying blood. A kid getting a picture with the Sesame Street characters. And you're telling me that's supposed to be Big Bird? Heck no. Believe it or not, this is supposed to be a figurine of Misty from Pokemon. Who did this? And last but not least, a Buzz Lightyear toy that looks nothing like Buzz Lightyear. My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. Excuse me, sorry. Hey, watch where you're going, loser. Hey, Kyle. Nobody likes you, bro. Remember that. Hey, Billy, come here. What? If you were on fire and I had a glass of water, I would drink the water. What? What doesn't kill you disappoints me. What do you say? Well, that's just shh. weird things teachers made students do. One day in 6th grade, this kid got to his math class before everybody else. It was just him and the teacher for a few minutes, and he was kind of anxious. So he was sitting there kind of jittery, but minding his own business. The teacher then noticed he was jittery, and this is what she did. Hi, I want you to stand up right now, please. Okay. Now I want you to dance. Just dance right there in your spot. Just dance. What do you mean? Start dancing. Can you at least put some music on or something for me? No. And so he stood there and he was dancing. He had no idea why he was doing this, but students were walking down the hall looking at him so weird. What the heck? Can I please stop dancing now? No! And then finally the bell rang. Okay, now you can stop.
কালকে সারা রাত তোমার আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
সারা রাত? তাহলে আপনি শুনুন আপনার ভালোবাসার মানুষের অতীত বর্তমান। পাগল কোন একদম ঠিক হয়নি, ওনার ব্যথা লাগে নাই?
ব্যথা তো বেশি তুহিন।
তুহিনের ব্যথা লাগছে না?
বন্ধু তুই চিন্তা করিস না রে, ভাবির মন ঠিকই গলে যাবে। ভাবির মন তো গলবে কিন্তু আরে না 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 দোস নম্বর না গাড়ি ঘোড়া তো
হঠাৎ আমার বাসার নিচে কোনো জরুরি দরকার?
তুমি কি আজকে কোচিং এ যাও নাই? সুন্দর মতো যাবি, ভাবির নামটা জিজ্ঞাসি। আর শোন, ভালো মতো কথা কইবে, ভাবি লাগে। খালি থাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, এই বাদে আর কিছু পারছস?
বুকিং?
বুকিং মানে বুকিং? তুমি আমার, আমি তোমার, বুকিং দিয়ে দিছি, ফাইনাল।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত? তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে। আমার তো অনেক ভয় লাগতেছে দোস্ত। এই যে আস্তে আস্তে সব মানুষ জানবে, তারপর আমার ফ্যামিলিকেও জানাই দিবে। আর আমার
এন্ড বেস্ট অফ লাক ফর ডক্টরশিপ। আমি দোয়া করি তুমি যেন একজন ভালো ডক্টর হও।
আমার কাছে জিনের বাচ্চার নাম্বার আছে। জিনের বাচ্চা
করতে চাস নাকি ইটিস পিটিস করতে চাস? বদতমিজ।
হ্যালো বন্ধু,
আমার রোদে দিছস?
এই তো দিছি তো।
ঠিক মতো রোদে দিছস?
কি শুনতে চান? আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি? তবে ইন্টার সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে পড়ি।
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে আমার ক্লাস 9 এর পোলাবেনও প্রেম করে।
মামা মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি, আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু।
শুনেন বেঞ্চ সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু জিসান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে শুনুন।
মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি। ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি, কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে গেছে। তুই রবিলের সুন্দর রিক্সা ডাক।
ভাবি চিনিকে আমার বন্ধু জিসান দেখতে, প্লিজ ভাবি আপনি একটু নেন, প্লিজ ভাবি। আপনি দেখেন ভাবি,
ফোন তো ধরে না।
আবার কল দেন।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে, আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল, আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসাতে, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পাইলে হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা, আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন,
যে ফোন আমার ছেলের লাইফস্টাইল নষ্ট করে সে ফোন আমি রাখবো না, এটাই আমার সিদ্ধান্ত বাবা। তোমাকে এবার আমাদের মতো করে চলতে হবে, ইউটিউবের ভিউ দিয়ে আমাদের খেতে হবে না।
সো আমি যার সাথে দেখা করতে যাচ্ছি সে যদি স্ট্রেট ফরওয়ার্ড না হয় তাহলে তার খবরই আছে।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ভাই, আমি যাচ্ছি, এদেরকে ছাড়েন, আমি উঠতেছি। ভাই আমার ভক্তকুল কিন্তু আপনার থানা ঘেরাও করে ফেলবে। ওকে, নো ওয়ারিজ, আমি আবার এসব বিষয়ে অনেক উদার। চলো,
ওকে, লেটস ডু ইট টুগেদার।
বাই, টাটা।
পেয়ে গেলাম মানে এই যে আমরা একজন একজনের সামনাসামনি চোখাচোখি মুখোমুখি, আমি তোমাকে ধরতে পারতেছি, ফিল করতে পারছি।
ও ভাইয়া, প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল।
ও প্র্যাঙ্ক, ওকে ওকে, চালিয়ে যান, ক্যারি অন।
নাদিম শুনো,
মাঝখানে ফোকাস ছিল না, ডিফোকাস হয়ে গেছে, এই সেই। তুই এটা কোন লেন্স ইউজ করিস?
টেলিলেন্স
কত?
কেউ যে 50-50।
শোনো আমি বলছি পসিবল, নাহলে কিন্তু এই যে গরম কফি গায়ে ঢেকে দেবো। বলো পসিবল?
ওকে ফাইন, পসিবল।
এই মেয়ে লোকটাকে তুই বিয়ে করতে পারবি?
টিন্ডার থেকে তুমি এর আগে আর কারোর সাথে কফি ডেট করেছো আমি ছাড়া?
হোয়াট? আমাকে কি দেখে মনে হয় চিপ? আমি এক্সক্লুসিভ ভার্সন, ওকে? আই এম নট অ্যাভেলেবল। কি ছিল? কি ছিল?
প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, বিশেষ হচ্ছে না। এই যে
Prank
আই সুইট, ওই যে দেখেন মনোপড নিয়ে দাঁড়ায় আছে, এই যে আরেকজন ইফতে। এই শিখেছি তোরে 50 কি টেলিলেন্স নাকি? 85 ইউজ করবি, দরকার পড়লে তোর আমি 70-200 কিনা দিব।
তুই টেনশন করিস না, হ্যাঁ?
কোনো চোর না, চুরি না, ডাকাতি না, এটা প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, টোটালি প্র্যাঙ্ক। প্র্যাঙ্ক শিখাইছে উস্তাদ। কেমন হলো প্র্যাঙ্ক?